Okay, I'm live. So today what I'm going to talk about is gang stalkers contradicting sayings. Basically, um, when when gang stalkers tell you basically to keep your mouth shut. So I wrote this down on a piece of paper, and it's gonna be going back and forth. One instance, they'll tell you to learn to shut up, but then something will tell you a closed mouth don't get fed. Then they'd be like, don't reveal too much. Then they'll be like, don't reveal too much. Then they'd be like, don't harbor your emotions inside. Just ignore people. Why is my thing glitching so much? It's pissing me off. Just ignore people. Then it'll say, we teach people how to treat us. Keep silent. Then it'll say, speak things into existence. Don't be so sensitive. But Psalms 34:17 says, eh, the righteous cry, the Lord hears and delivers them out of all their troubles. So my thing is, people can't tell you when to talk. People try to control you and tell you to harbor these feelings and emotions inside. Then you have people who say, "Oh, you should let it out. Don't keep all those feelings inside as dangerous." There's a lot of good people, and the reason why they lash out is because they've been harboring so much of the bad emotions that people have been throwing their toxic influences on them and their toxic behavior on them. Then the people lash out. Now, does that make that irrelevant at the time because they held it all in and now it's coming out? No, it doesn't make it irrelevant. It's still 100% relevant if what they're telling is facts. And I'm always suspicious about people who don't want to hear about things. They don't want the history of things, especially when they're true. And it's just like, leave that in the past. But if you're going to let them tell you things about me that are in the past, then we need to balance the scales here. If that's the case, then I need to tell you about what they did or what they've said, or the history of our relationship. Because you can have a new beginning because new people come in, right? So you're like, okay, I'm just going to start over, but they haven't started over. The people who have done certain things to you. So it's like you're going to be the one getting attacked, and then you can't bring up the issues that you were having with those people before then because now the new group is like, we're not going to talk about the past. So that's how that can play a bogus part in your life. So it's like there are instances in the Bible where it says not to say bad nor good things to certain people, where God is literally just telling people don't even talk to certain people. And I've tried that at work. I've tried that at work where I don't even talk to people. I stay away from them. I completely avoid them. And guess what? Somebody mentioned me doing that. And it was kind of funny though, and I'm glad they mentioned it. They're like, oh, well, that person just ignores me and they try to get away from me when I come in the area. And I say, yeah, because I don't want to feel bad vibes. I don't want to feel any type of bad energy. And they said, well, she just goes over there and starts doing her work, whatever she's supposed to do, but she's avoiding me. I said, bingo, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do. I'm staying away from bad vibes or bad energy. I don't want to confront anybody if it's going to be something negative, if I can avoid it. And I just want to focus on my work. There's nothing wrong with me doing that. If you want to talk to me so badly, like I don't understand why when most of your rapport about me is that I'm a difficult person and I'm this and I'm that and I'm this and I'm that. I'm not really there to have personal conversations with you because I know where that goes in the workplace, and it's not the best thing to do. If you want to be personal, you can be personal with your family, you can be personal with your friends off the job, but job is not a place for everybody to be personal at. So I try to keep it strictly work and strictly business. And if you have a problem with that, then there's nothing that I can really do for you. I'm sorry. So, and also God says we don't live by just bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of our mouth. So I get a lot of people when, like, I talked to you guys the other day about all the things that I was going through, and I've been, scrolling the YouTube pages, and I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, you need to shut up." People that I watch, you need to learn how to be silent. You need to learn how to close your mouth. There is an appropriate time to be silent, but there's also an appropriate time to speak your mind. And I'm not an advocate for these people who go to the workplace and do horrible things to people on the job, where they put stuff in their food, where they come to the job and they shoot up the place and they do all these crazy things. But I'm bringing awareness to the bullying that certain people go through, such as myself, and how if people don't express how they feel, how that can transfer into something physical. And that's why I think that there are certain times that you have to speak out. I'm not in danger of that because I'm not that type of person, because I'm not going to do those type of things. I value my life here in earth, outside of bars. So I'm not going to do that, but I have been able to see and recognize what these people may be going through because of the experience that I've been going through being bullied on the job. So I'm seeing, like, maybe this is what some of these people did, were experiencing, that came to the job and were completely reckless because they weren't being heard, because they were being bullied, because there was a coalition of people just teaming up against them and they were in there doing their best. So it's important for those people to speak out and say what they're going through. Whether you're that type of person or not, you still need to get it out of you, because that physical pain and that emotional trauma and turmoil that is projected onto you from all that toxicity, that can turn into physical pain and physical problems. So it's better for you to, extract that verbally and say how you feel and say what you're going through sometimes. Now, some people prefer you to shut up and they want you to harbor those feelings in, because that's exactly what they want you to do. They want you to go to the job and act a complete fool. They want you to go to the job and act out, in terror, and just be over the top, because you probably should be after all they've done to you. But that's to basically further ruin your reputation after they've already made lies and have sabotaged you. Now they want you to act out in violence. Now they want to put the final seal on what they've been saying. Now this is going to become real if you do something like that. So that's why it's very important for you to express yourself and what you're going through at certain times. You cannot harbor all that inside. I've tried, and it's not a human thing, and I don't even think it's a supernatural thing. There is no way, unless you're on another realm of living, there is no way that a human being can harbor all that negativity inside that people have tried to put into them and be okay. It has to go out. Just like when you put bad food in your body, a lot of people who are sensitive, it's going to project, it's going to come out in their skin. There's no way you can be that type of person and keep eating greasy, dirty, nasty food that's bad for your body and you're not getting pimples and acne and things like that. There's no way. You have to stop doing it, or you have to find something that provides the benefit that's gonna, get rid of that problem altogether. So I'm tired of people that are trying to tell me to shut up, keep my mouth shut. I said too much at a time. If I said it, that means it was time for me to say it. I'm tired of people wanting me to be passive and trying to control my timing when it comes to say something, because how do you know how God is working in my life? How do you know what God is telling me to do at a certain time or not? You may be telling me to be quiet. I have the right to listen to your advice, but I have a right to overrule your advice when God has given me a certain word or put something else in my heart and spirit. I do not have to be under your control, because you're coming to me as like an informant and telling me this and telling me that, because I still have higher powers over me, righteous powers over me, that I don't know how you're relating to those people. And I have to keep a level head and I have to maintain my sanity. And if maintaining my sanity is to get the pollution out of me that I've been intoxicated with because I've had to endure these people, then that's what I'm gonna do. Only I know when the bucket is becoming too full. You don't know because see, people will think that you're superhuman and they'll believe that they can just keep dumping their crap onto you and into you, and that you should be able to maintain to a certain extent. If you're the one that's carrying it, you're the one that knows when it needs to be dumped out. Nobody can tell you but yourself. So for people who are being gang stalked, don't necessarily listen to people who are telling you to be quiet, be silent. Listen to God. Listen to what God is saying. Listen to what your heart, your spirit, and also listen to what your physical being is saying. If they're saying you're too stressed, you're getting anxiety, go ahead and talk about it. Tell people what you're going through. Because if those people were really embarrassed and felt a certain way about you speaking out, then they would stop doing what they're doing. If they felt ashamed and if they felt like, oh, I don't want to be exposed, they would stop doing what they're doing. But there's certain people who want that type of attention, so they're not going to do it. And there's certain people who want you to spend your time talking about them, so they're not going to do it. In most books and plots, there's the protagonist and there's the antagonist. And some people are living just to purely be the antagonist in your life. They want to be the bad guy that you remember. And the funny part about it is years will go by and you'll literally forget these people's names. And they really want you to remember their names, but it's not really going to happen. You're going to have to really think about it because you're surpassing everything. You're focusing on the positive and the good. So it's like even though you went through all that horrible stuff, sometimes it's still hard for you to remember all those people's names. You really have to like sit there and think about it. It's not like it's just at the top of your head and oh, this person did me wrong and this person did me wrong. And I have a whole list that I've been holding on to every day, not reversing it, rehearsing it at night and saying, this person and this person and this person. I'm literally slowly forgetting about these people, but they're in the back of my mind somewhere. I can bring it up and remember it, but they're not at the top of my brain. And then God will even show you because sometimes it'll be people messing with you today and you will have a hard time saying what their name is. Like what's her name? She messing with me now. You around this person all the time, but you can't seem to get their name out. It's because it's not something you need to be really dwelling on in the real world that God wants you to be living in for yourself. So strong people speak out. Strong people are assertive. Strong people don't let people run them over. There is a time when you need to be tactful and not say certain things, but everybody gets shocked when you've been quiet for a while and then you say something. It's always a dramatic scene because you were supposed to be a hermit. You were supposed to be quiet. You were supposed to keep this a secret. You were supposed to be ashamed to tell people how I was treating you. You were supposed to be ashamed of talking about that. So I was supposed to get away with targeting you in that type of way. So these are the things that people use, and it's not going to work. It's not going to always work. Their tactics aren't going to work because some people are willing to talk about the bad things that they've been through just to stop you from harassing them. Even if they're embarrassing, even if they're not the best light of things, if you're harassing that person to an extent, there is a possibility that they will show that light on a situation you thought they wouldn't show. And you thought they were going to sit there and just get tormented by it. But that's not necessarily true. So I would be very careful at how you're tormenting these people, especially some of these people who are out here who were a part of certain systems, um, you should be aware how you treat those people, because some people think that because you were in a certain situation and born into certain things, that they can go about treating you however they want to treat you, and that's farthest from the truth as it could possibly be. So don't shut up. Keep it. And there's so many scriptures. God said, "Let there be light." God spoke, right? God said, when you have a problem and things are happening and people aren't listening to you in the right way, maybe you should bring it to the congregation. So why is it that when I'm going through something, everybody wants me to be quiet? Why is it that I have to spit it out in scenes and crap in order to fulfill these people's desires? Oh, you're going through all of this, but I just want you to give them segments and pieces at a time. That means that's all of the rest of the stuff you want me to hold inside. Well, I'm spitting out a little bit of the toxins. Oh, let me wait till next week and I'll spit out a little more of the toxins. No, hell no. Sometimes you just need to get rid of all them damn toxins and start over fresh. So I'm sorry for the people who want to use that for their videos and who want to use that for something to talk about, but you're going to have to find something new, because if it's time for me to get rid of toxicity in my body that people have tried to put in with their negativity, then by all means necessary, I'm going to get rid of it. And there's no way you're going to be able to stop me. You're not going to be able to shut me up. So everybody that's being gang stalked, be strong in that way, in that sense. You don't have to talk all the time. Being silent sometimes is smart, but speaking up for yourself and talking about things is smart. It all depends on your spiritual, mental, and physical state, not who's controlling you and who wants you to say what when. And that's all I have to say.